Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the KalamariCast. Nick, Hubert, and Gus here, and today we're doing a little walkthrough of a new expansion pack that has come out about a week ago for Battlefield 3, and this is the Aftermath expansion. And basically the whole idea of it is the new maps and the new game type are all revolving around the idea that an earthquake has just happened and you're basically in a ruined city.
How tragic.
How tragic.
We have special guest Gus here. He's going to have a good time hanging out with us.
Excited to be here.
Gus has played Battlefield quite extensively. Myself, Gus, and Carlos are all Battlefield 3 premium members, and which means we get all the expansion packs, all the new stuff that comes out as it comes out.
I am not a premium member. So Nick here is basically going to, I guess, discuss the value of the expansion packs and see if it's actually worth buying as a standalone or if it's even worth it with the premium.
Right. I played it for a little while. I'll be honest. Halo has been taking up most of my online multiplayer time.
And I mean, it is Halo.
It is Halo. But I did when this came out. I did jump back on to Battlefield 3 and got my Battlefield chops back together. The maps are really cool. Some of the layout of them and the choke points and where the fighting ends up happening in these basically ruined buildings is really cool. The four new maps are Epicenter, Tala Market, Azadi Palace, and Marquez Monolith. Epicenter.
That's quite a mouthful.
It is. Epicenter. Basically, the coolest thing about the new maps is in Epicenter while you're playing. There's a randomized timer, and some point in your game, there will be an aftershock to this earthquake that has that has happened, and that's why and everything is the way it is.
I do enjoy that about Battlefield, just like the aesthetics of the maps. Not many other games do that with the overall feel and the look and the immersion. I think a lot of maps, they just sort of play scenery with no purpose, but it's a lot of it.
Definitely. The map is part of the gameplay. It's part of this whole experience.
Exactly. I love Battlefield because it's one of those hyper realistic games, but it's so good at doing it. There is one problem with the new maps though, because one of the things I love about Battlefield is that it has destructible environments. You're playing in a game, and if you're in a tank and there's somebody behind a wall, like in a building behind a wall with an RPG, and he keeps popping out and taking pot shots at you, there's an easy way to get around it. You blow the fuck out of that wall and you kill them. You take down the building. In these new maps, it's pre-destroyed. There's nothing to destroy.
Yeah, that is a downside. That's sort of, but I don't know.
That also adds to the fun, I think, though, too. I mean, if you're running around an already destroyed building, I mean, everyone's in the same advantage. Nobody can hide around anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just carnage the whole way.
These three maps are kind of built towards infantry gameplay.
They weren't like, from what I was watching from you, there wasn't a lot of open, since everything's already destroyed, there wasn't a lot of open terrain for vehicles. So I don't know if and isn't it the only game type you can play on it was Scavenger, or was that just what you showed?
No,
me?
that's
Okay.
Basically what I play, because that's the coolest new addition. That's the new game type called Scavenger, where basically it's for lack of a better term, Halo. You start off with a pistol. It's a little more severe than Halo, but the idea is there was just an earthquake. You have nothing left. You're fighting in a ruined landscape, and you can't find weapons. So basically, you start with a pistol, and you have to go around finding new weapons. But you can still play Conquest, Rush, Team Deathmatch, Squad Deathmatch, all the big staples from Battlefield. You can still play those on them. There are vehicles I've played with, like a BMP and a tank destroyer.
Yeah.
But
They seem like they're rather useless.
they are rather useless because all the fighting happens in certain parts of the map.
In the middle.
In the middle, inside.
And so if you're just running around the outside with like a BMP, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, basically
ruins the fun because
eventually
you actually encounter people.
Yeah, eventually somebody realizes you're there and shoots you with an RPG or something, and you're just about done.
What I did notice about Scavenger was it didn't, other than the addition of the new guns, it was a lot like Conquest, except just a little more fast paced, just because a lot of the points are a lot closer.
Yeah.
So
It's a bit like Conquest Assault, which was induced. Oh no, excuse me, Conquest Domin. Was it Conquest Assault or Conquest Domination, Gus?
Domination.
Domination. So Conquest Domination was introduced with the CQC, the Close Quarters map pack, which came out, which was the first one to come out. And that's also when Premium came out. It's basically, yeah, for these close quarters infantry maps that you're not using vehicles to jump across large places and get to these points. You just run to them, and if you have your whole team there, you can go from an enemy-held base, fully controlled, to neutralizing it and taking it in like 2 seconds. It goes really, really quick.
And the speed at which you capture adds to the gameplay. So you're running from point to point. It's not like people are able to camp out and hide at these points and keep you from, getting them because they're camped out and it takes so long to capture them. But since it takes 2 seconds, you can just run up, and if they're not close enough to it, they can't, capture it in 2 seconds. It's yours, and there's really nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, it speeds up the gameplay a lot.
It almost seems like a different game. It almost seems like it's less of a battlefield and more of like a survival game where you're by yourself, kind of, and you're dipping through corners and in the alleys and broken buildings, and you're trying to stay away from people and sneak around like a little mouse.
Now that's when you're playing on the scavenger mode, and
seems about right.
Yeah, and it's interesting that when I was playing, I was realizing that there are certain tiers of guns. Like when you run up to a gun that you can find, it has certain tiers, and the tier does change how good it is. Like what kind of attachments, like you can have like an AK-47 tier 1, and then an AK-47 tier 3 will also have a scope and a red dot and a silencer, or a scope and a laser sight and a silencer or something like that. So the equipment gets up, but also the trick is to find a gun that has ammo in it. Most guns that you find that are like tier 1 or tier 2 only have like 1 clip.
Yeah.
So you're working with what you can find, and it does make you fight for resources as well as
I noticed
kills.
when you were playing, I don't know if it was like an AK-74 or something that you picked up, and you went out with the clip and you ran, and the clip ran out like in about 2 seconds.
And that was it. I picked it up not
And you're
even
like-
thinking to look at how much was left, and I didn't have even a full clip.
Yeah.
So that's a cool
it's
thing.
An interesting element, I guess. I can't say it decreases the value, but it doesn't. I don't know if it greatly enhances the value.
Right.
Here's a question for Nick. Does it keep with the feel of Battlefield, or does it feel like a whole new game?
The maps or Scavenger?
With Scavenger.
Scavenger feels like a whole different game because Battlefield is one of the most team-oriented games out there.
I saw it
That's
was
what I was trying to get at,
because all the
right.
points are so easy to get, and you're running from place to place, and it's hard to hold on the points and have like strategy, holding 3 points and holding them at a choke point to make sure that they don't get past like a central point to capture the other ones. You're sort of just running aimlessly to like all the different points. So that, but I guess it does add variety.
It adds variety. Definitely adds variety, and I did have a lot of fun playing it. Not only that, but while you're playing Scavenger, the reason the Battlefield is so team-oriented is that every loadout you have has a specific ability. Medics have the ability to drop medic packs and revive people. Support has the option to drop ammo. Engineer has the option to repair vehicles, and Recon has the ability to drop certain pieces of equipment and spot or laze people. None of that is available in Scavenger.
Yeah.
You can't revive people. You can't drop packs. You don't have anything. So it really is a free for all. You're on teams, but there is no team gameplay, which kind of destroys the Battlefield uniqueness, because Battlefield was always you get rewarded for playing as a team, which is really cool.
It does also seem like a cool little thing they put in there, though, because it's good to always have some variety. It's good.
Exactly.
It's awesome that Battlefield's team-oriented, but you add this in there, it's just another new facet of the game that makes it better.
I agree with that, but like at times I was looking for for my med pack or my defib to revive somebody, and I've just gotten so used to that team atmosphere, reviving people, and I need ammo, you need ammo, everyone needs ammo, let's just do this and kick some ass. Now, you can play on the maps with Team Deathmatch and have all that, but Scavenger is the new thing for these maps, and it's really cool. The one thing that I want to say that makes, in my opinion, this whole thing almost worth, if you're not a premium member, There's one weapon that makes it all almost worth it, just by itself, and that's the crossbow. It is so much fucking fun.
Yeah, I was watching you
like
play,
it.
and it would look pretty op.
Yeah, it's like I said before, Battlefield is hyper realistic. If you haven't played it before, it's not like Halo where wherever you point the reticle is where the sniper rifle round goes. You gotta
A lot of good
compensate.
physics.
Yeah, you
A lot
gotta
of good
compensate for
physics
drop.
with it.
You gotta compensate for bullet drop in Battlefield, and you have to lead because obviously a bolt from a crossbow isn't going to travel as fast as a bullet. You got to lead your target and compensate for a lot of drop. So that makes it hard, but it's really cool. It's not a one-shot kill, as I thought it was, because I shot somebody in the back from a long distance, and
Yeah,
it was
it
a
might be
beautifully
why, too.
timed shot, and it soared through the air, and it hit him in the back, and he ran
I
away.
think it could because of the distance that it wasn't one hit kill,
It could have been.
which makes it even more realistic too.
Yeah, but I mean, if I timed that so well and sent it soaring that perfectly into
You
like
wanna
his
kill.
back,
Yeah.
I want to fucking
I wanna
kill.
kill.
I'm sure if a crossbow quarrel gets stuck in your spine from 50 yards, you'd probably still die.
Yeah, you're not gonna be happy.
Not gonna be happy.
You certainly wouldn't be
You're like,
running picking up other guns.
Not again.
Not again.
So, what is the verdict on this? Well, if you're a Battlefield Premium member, obviously you already have it, and it's worth playing. It definitely is worth playing. Like I said before, sometimes the pre-destroyed maps, and there's just rubble everywhere, it makes like traversing the maps a little harder because sometimes you can't hop over things and you get stuck on areas because there's just I-beams jutting out of the ground and stuff. It's slightly discombobulating, but that also adds to the allure of it. Like you don't know what's going on. It's more chaotic and stuff like that. I don't like that you can't destroy. I mean, there's little parts of the maps that you can destroy still, but I don't like that it's already pre-destroyed. And, you know, if you're rolling in with a tank and they're held up in the center building cluster, you can't blow the buildings apart because they're already falling apart. I do really like that the aftershocks happen in while you're playing in Epicenter, because I wish they'd do this more, like interactive maps, something that's like going on in the map, like it's raining or something that makes you feel like you're really, really there.
They need to have something like where you can lead someone and they think they're gonna kill you, and then all of a sudden a building falls on you.
Exactly, and that's what
Cinematic, and you're just like, you got me. No, you don't. There's a building dropping on you.
that was the greatest thing. I remember Carlos and I were playing right before Halo came out, and he got addicted to rubble kills. He would take the mortar or the RPG and just sit and wait. A bit of a camper in that respect, but he was having fun. And he would just sit and wait for people to run underneath certain parts, and he would blow up balconies and stuff, and the rubble would fall on them and kill him. And at one point, he got a double rubble kill. So since then on, we were just calling it. We would scream double rubble whenever anybody.
double rubble.
Anybody got one. So stuff like that, and it's Battlefield. You know, I'm playing Halo right now, but I mean, I've logged, I think, like 22 days on Battlefield. We've played it a lot.
Yeah, Battlefield's a great game. You got some buddies and you got some good friends. You're playing Battlefield. It's a good time. Definitely a good time.
So, if you have the money to buy it and you're not playing Halo and you feel like doing something a little different, and of course you're a fan of Battlefield 3, I would definitely suggest getting this. Now, there is a little problem, though, that I want to show everyone. And this is a trend that most video games are going on these days, are going towards, and it's aimed more at the new generation of consoles that are coming out. But there's a problem because not everybody has the new generation of consoles. And this game, like every other Xbox 360 game right now, can be played on the old white beasts, as opposed to the new black, smaller, sleeker bitches. I don't know what to call them. For lack of a better term. They're not elites, but they have the storage. Basically, here's the thing: Xbox 360, the next gen consoles, they're the same thing except for like they have the same graphics card, all that. They might be maybe a hair faster, I guess, if they have better CPUs. But the arcade version comes with 4 gigs of hard drive space. The next level up comes with 250 gigs of hard drive space. Now that's a huge jump, but here's where you run into the problem. Take a look at this. 20 gigs.
20 gigs? Are you kidding me?
What is
This is ridiculous.
what is
It's
the
like 1 gig per update.
it's more than 1 gig per update both for the patches and for the DLC, it's over 1 gig. When I stopped playing Halo for a little while and downloaded Aftermath, there was a patch update for everything new and the DLC download, a grand total of a little over 3 gigs. That's 20 gigs. I can play it because my Xbox has a 250 gig hard drive. Right. But you two, basically at this point, you can play this game and nothing else on your Xbox, because I think the white Xboxes have like a 20-point-something gig hard drive. You might not even be able to play this whole thing.
If you get like the original, I don't know.
Yeah, the original one.
Remember the original? I think that was like an 8 gig hard drive.
Right. So then
the one that you stuck on top, and then they later on they were able to increase the size and keep like the same shape.
Right. The HDD,
the data storage ability, but
right.
like they kept the same shape. But like it's still nothing compared to like the 250 gig hard drive that comes with the new Xbox.
Right, so Gus, you, as well as Carlos, had to delete some Battlefield 3 stuff just so you could install the Halo disc. And now Halo has gone this direction, but for multiplayer
you need a multiplayer install.
It's my phone going off.
It seems pretty crazy that they would make a game that's too big to fit on an Xbox, which they're making it for.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Why and there is one more expansion pack yet to come out.
Yeah.
So
what are people going to do who bought?
So that's going to be like 25 gigs by then, because they're going to have another update, another patch.
So
by then it's going to be like 23, 25 gigs, and you're going to be sitting there like I can't even play it on my Xbox.
Right. Now I've done some research and I've looked at, can you delete the old patches that Battlefield has been putting out? So in the very beginning when they were changing things, can you go back to 2000 and it came out in 2011, November of 2011.
Yes.
Can you go back to the first original patches and can you delete those? And everything that I've seen says no, you can't. You need to have every patch that build off of each other. Each patch and each.
Like they didn't just update one patch and just keep it. So it's one consistent update that overlaps the other.
Right.
That's
That's what I have seen. And viewers, if you know differently, please comment, because I have not been able to get a clear answer on this. Everything that I've read mostly says you have to keep all the updates.
That would help if you could delete the older patches.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is keep the newest one, and that would have all the, I guess, the code changes and everything.
Because it's a huge problem. If you bought Battlefield 3 Premium and you have one of the regular white Xboxes with a 20 gig hard drive, after this, I'm not even sure you can play this on it, let alone, and I know if you can play this on it, I know you will not be able to play the last one. So basically, you will not be able to play the game you've paid for if you have a regular Xbox.
$120 game that you can't play.
Because exactly. Battlefield was $60 and the Battlefield Premium was $50.
So $110.
So
it just seems like this is the first step in when we're seeing the next generation consoles.
Right,
Games are becoming too big.
Exactly.
Which is a good thing and a bad thing.
And
it's a bad thing for now for us.
Because you don't have the systems to keep up with it. But
right.
I guess later on it'll.
Now the next gen Xboxes can deal with it, and the 720 will be able to deal with it. But the 720 isn't out yet. People who have the white Xboxes aren't going to go out and buy a next gen Xbox just to get a 720 a year from now.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, and they're getting a little bit of the head on themselves. So, forewarning about how big Battlefield is and stuff like that, and hopefully we'll get shown an answer to these type of games, because this is becoming the new fad. And I can see why. It makes the games run better. It makes them look better. But people aren't going to be able to play them.
Right.
So, well, we digress.
The updates are coming.
We digress. So that's Battlefield 3 Aftermath expansion. If you have the storage space and the money to buy it, it's worth playing. It's fun. And obviously, if you have Battlefield 3 Premium, you've already got it. So thanks so much for watching, as always. And if you have any comments, as well as, can we delete the old patches? If you have an answer to that, please comment. I'm sure lots of other people would like to know. As always, thanks for watching. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the KalamariCast, and we'll see you next time.